Future Proof is sponsored by Learn Smart Academy, online revision courses for GCSE and A-Level. All your revision in one place, organised for you, interactive and game-changing. Hello and welcome to Future Proof. Thank you so much for joining me, Sarah Hopwood, as I continue this series looking at how to do things. And in today's programme, and this is going to be another two-programme feature on the same subject, but I will be linking them, so don't worry if you miss one. And you can always catch them on YouTube. So if you look at Future Proof YouTube, you'll be able to pick up all the programmes that have been recorded under the heading of Future Proof. So it's all there for you. Just view whatever you want to view as and when it works for you. Very often there's a saying, isn't there, when you need something, a teacher appears. So it's quite good to actually just look at things that resonate with you at the moment, depending on where you are on your journey. This morning we had a client who through lockdown, we know that there have been people without jobs who've been losing jobs, people who've had to pivot and shift and stop and start doing things. And of course, we've all given great praise for the frontliners. And they are people across the board who have been out there pushing themselves out to help and support other people. But we've not heard so much of the professional service firms that are also working so hard. They're not frontliners, I'm not calling them that. But it really hit me today when I just knew that an accountant was absolutely exhausted and was reflecting on their teams as well. And they really are, some of them, on their knees. And the term we are broken actually was part of the conversation too. And I don't think any of us should judge who's broken and who isn't, who's hurting, who isn't. I just think we just need to hear. And I certainly heard that comment, and it really caused me a slight bit of anxiety and concern, because I thought they were kind of forgotten in some way. It was just assumed that they are all right, and lucky them, they've got business kind of stuff. But their workload has obviously been overwhelming in different areas of their offering. So, and that's what's led me to think today about recording and talking about time management. And the reason why is because we all have 136 hours in a week. Everybody has the same. I love time because time is a great leveler. You can't buy anymore, and you actually can't sell. You can't get rid of any time. You can't let it drop off the back of a lorry. We all have exactly the same amount of time. So why is it that some people can manage better than others? And I'm not now talking about the accountant. I'm not talking about frontliners. It wouldn't be right nor fair to do that. I don't know what it's like to be there, even as a former nurse. But that was 30 years ago, kind of, I was nursing. So I don't know. So I'm not talking about that. But I am just thinking of time management and how can we be more effective with the time that we have. Another term for time management is actually self-management. And also, in listening to other people, it was thinking from self-management, certainly a lesson to myself, is it's also adjusting to the new normal and then normalising it. And, it was that back end of that comment that I'm still in the process of doing. So it's adjusting to the new normal, but then normalising it. So it doesn't cause me so much kind of stress or anxiety and I think it also helps me be more effective, not just with the time that I have, but effective in my decision making around the things I say no to or the things I say yes to. And so for me, that's a key sentence in this half, is to normalise the new normal. And I do believe some of this stuff can help. So Time management, better known actually, I think, is self-management. And what we're covering is understanding what time management is and how it affects you, identify time management barriers and priorities. Many time management courses focus on priorities, and I'm not saying they're not relevant, but to me, I just think of effectiveness, because if we're not careful, we can prioritize and then we can be highly effective at being inefficient. So it's how we can raise our efficiency based on the choices that we make and the time available. So life balance and our beliefs as well, really, really important. It's not just learning to say no. I think many people have been saying no to stuff. It's also maybe changing some of those no's into yeses, but also it's understanding what you're saying no to and why, and reviewing it. And there are some things you might automatically say yes to, and maybe it's about time now you said no to that. Maybe you delegate that. There are other ways of dealing with it. No isn't always kind of a rebuke and slamming a door. It's just maybe what are the alternatives now with that no? Is it to stop? Is it to review? Is it to escalate or de-escalate? Is it to delegate? You know, what is it? What happens with that no? Preparing a one-page plan for time management. If you've been following this series, you'll know that one-page plans have been featuring in most of the programs. And understanding KPIs, key performance indicators, and rewards. And key performance indicators are basically, how do you know that you're on course for what you're looking for, basically? And it's identifying ways of measuring that. And then obviously going to those things to measure and make sure they're time bound as well, so that you can double check. If you imagine if you're, I don't know, landscaping a garden and the person doing it for you said, right, it will take 3 months. In your head, you'll be looking out the window every 2 or 3 weeks, or at least every month, and you'll be assessing, are we on course for this to be completed in 3 months' time? That's like KPIs. It's just double checking you're where you want to be. So mind mapping is very, very good. It's very good at brainstorming and really unpacking exactly what relates to the issue, if you like, that you're trying to solve. Key thing I say here too is please don't rationalise too much when you're mind mapping, particularly if you're doing it as a group, or particularly even more if you've delegated it. Don't allow people to rationalise, because if we rationalise too early, you bin something and say, oh no, we wouldn't have time to that, or I can't do this, or it's too expensive, or it's too hot, it's too cold, it's not big enough. And before you know where you are, you've rationalised out some very, very good ideas that may actually have worked and got you closer to the goal that you're aiming for. So that I'm gonna can I just say, if you want any of this material, just contact me and I'm more than happy to send it across. So if you wanted a more longer to look at this mind map on time management, just let me know. I can take a screenshot and send it across to you. So but I am going to move on now and say, and again, if you've seen it before, now, where, how is the fundamental tool to problem solving. You identify where you are now, and then it's the creative thinking, it's blue ocean strategy, it's looking at where is it we want to be, because whenever you've got change afoot, changes around, there's always opportunity to add some more things, maybe take some things away, maybe go into a slightly different area than you were, if you like, automatically programmed to do, or you had previously been focused on. So as soon as you're thinking of making some changes, it always brings opportunity. So look at where you want to be, and in there, life balance features. It could be, you know, time management, and sometimes when people address time management, it's through stress, it's through illness, it's through crisis, either their own or the impact on family or people around them, or I don't know what it can be, but it can often come from stress. And this is where you can rewrite your rule book, if you like, and sometimes you might have to forego some stuff, and that could be anything from money, you know, reduce the profits or reduce the staff, or I don't know what it is, but you know, work out where you want to be so that you can, if you go, like, move back into your happy space. When we're stressed, when we are suddenly needing to address our so-called time management issues, then very, very often it's because we're way, way out of our happy space, and we need to get back into that spectrum to focus. The other thing too around time management, a cause of it can be distraction, and it could be that you've got something else going on, and sometimes this can link to addictions, but there's something else that keeps knocking on your door and drawing you away from what you're supposed to be doing at work. And it could be inappropriate behaviour on your part or on somebody else's part. It has been said that all of us are living in a chronic state of distraction. So again, part of your perhaps mind mapping is to mind map what is distracting you, because to blame it all on time management and I just need some more tools, it could be going back to the stop doing list and saying no. It could be you need to break some bad habits and patterns of behaviour, either of yourself or of other people, which is impacting on your ability to be highly effective and self-managed well.